Hey, what is going on guys? This is Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we have one attacker against 4 defenders in a siege of Ravenna for Total War Attila. So if you guys do enjoy this video, then please do drop a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyways, let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so this is actually a rematch of a previous scenario, and that scenario was 1 pro with a full elite army against 4 noobs with cheap armies with siege escalation on and set to 2, which means the settlement will start damaged. As you can see over here, the settlement is at 75% damage, which gives all the defenders units minus 14 morale, minus 14 melee attack, and minus 14 melee defense. Now, a lot of people that saw that first scenario and watched Pixelated Apollo's coverage of it, and some of them were saying in the comment section that it's basically impossible for the defenders to win, and the scenario is rigged for the attacker to win because the defenders with cheap armies and siege escalation on are just not going to be able to do any damage at all to the attacker, and the attacker is basically going to be invulnerable and his units are going to be able to kill everything without losing anything. Now, this is a flip of that script. So what we did here is we had myself and another pro Zuga, also my friend. So we are the ones defending the settlement this time, and the attacker is one of the players from the previous scenario as well, Danilo Appendix 7. So he's going to be attacking this time instead of defending, and I'm going to be defending instead of attacking. And now we're going to see, now that we have pros defending with more knowledge of the game, more knowledge of the factions and the units, and better tactics and strategies, whether we're going to be able to pull off a win. Because in the original video, so just click off here guys because this is a spoiler if you haven't seen it, I am able to scrape by and get a victory. It was a very hard earned victory, and it was actually really close, and if the defenders had just played a little better, or if I had made a mistake or two more than I did, I would definitely have lost. So we flipped the script now, and we're going to see if it's actually the scenario that's unfair, or if it's just because the players themselves were not good enough. Though obviously no shade to the players because they are noobs, they are new to the game, they don't know all the ins and outs of every faction and every unit, they are not pro players, okay? So they did the best that they could, but now we're going to show you guys what happens when pro players take over the defense and you have a noob attacking. So yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy, and if you do, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I know I mentioned this before, but this is truly a really interesting video, especially if you have seen the original, and now you get to see it flipped, with the attackers being the noob and the defenders being the pros. Anyway, let's get into the players and the army compositions. So, for the defenders, we have myself and Zuga, as I said. Zuga is commanding the Himyar, which is a desert faction, pretty interesting, and I am commanding my favorite faction in the game, the Ostrogoths. Now, if we go over to the attacker side, we can see that he is playing Swaby. So Swaby is the same faction I played in the original video. So I played Swaby and he's playing Swaby as well, and the commander of the attacker is Danilo Appendix 7. So yeah, those are the players, those are the factions. Let's get straight into it. Okay guys, so the match has kicked off, and as you can see, we have a very interesting defense going on. So if you have seen the previous video, you can compare that to what we're doing over here, and you'll see the difference when you have pro players defending compared to noob players defending. So for one, we do have a unit of Zealot Sicarius. These guys are basically a guerrilla unit. They can stay hidden no matter what terrain they're in, so we're going to be able to run them around and try and get behind the attacker. Now for the rest of our defense, so we have a very interesting plan going on. As you can see, there's nothing really over here at the moment. That's mostly just because we were afraid of artillery hitting us, so we started further back, and we can always run up our troops later. But the plan for this was, as you can see, my ally has a whole lot of his infantry over here. He's got a lot of these Athar's Chosen because they're a very cheap unit. They're like 300 gold or something, and unfortunately they are a smaller unit. They only have 18 men in the unit, but that's fine. He knows how to use them, we know how to use them. So he's got a lot of his units over here. I have some pikes and spears over here. I also have some pikes and spears over here. I have a bunch of infantry in the back, and then I have the rest of my army kind of set up either in the middle over here or on this left side. And that's because we want to try bait the attacker into pushing in, basically pushing in here or pushing in here. And then once he's in, we'll be able to flank around and surround him. Now, if you've watched the original video, you'll know that the defenders in that video did not do that. And that's because, obviously, being new players, they basically let me take control of the battle and lead the way I wanted, which means I made them fight in a manner that suited me best, instead of me fighting in a manner that suited them, which is what they needed to do to, cause me problems and actually, make the fight a lot harder for me. Now, if you have a look here, you can see that there's a lot of units coming out. So this is all part of the plan. So I'm moving out some cavalry, I'm moving out some of my Germanic warband, and I'm moving out a couple Gothic Velksmen. My ally, he's running out a bunch of his Athar's Chosen, as well as his Camel Lancers, and even some Desert Levies, so we have some Spears. And we have this setup on the left, and we have the same setup over here on the right, though on the right it's mostly just my partner. And these are going to be our flanking forces. They're currently all hidden, so the attacker has no idea what's going on. And in the inside of the city we have our remaining troops, but again, this is more to draw him in. We want to control the way that he attacks the city. We do not want to let him have control and attack in a manner that suits him, because if he does that, then he's going to be able to grind us down slowly but surely until we lose. But if we control the pace of the battle, if we control where he attacks and where he moves, then we're going to be able to control the pace of the battle, and we're going to be able to make him go where we want, and that's going to be much better for us. So right now, yeah, he's just shooting off artillery, as you can see. Oh, okay, he's using normal ammo. I think maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, he could use fire ammo if he wants, but I guess against walls and stuff, normal ammo, it's just as good. He does have some siege equipment, but he's not going to use it because he's just going to use his Arty to knock down all the walls that he wants. So we're going to speed up to ×4 speed just while we wait for him to continue knocking stuff down. As you can see, he is playing it smart. He is knocking down all the towers first, because the towers are going to be able to do a lot of damage to his troops. Oh yeah, there we go. He just missed the tower, but there we go, he did it now. Got that tower down. As for me now, I've moved up some of my forces. So my Germanic Lancers, as well as my 4 units of infantry, are all hidden in this tree line. And again, this is all part of the plan, because once the attacker pushes forward, remember, he's got the square formation because he's afraid of us selling out. And that is another way you could actually win this really easily, because he's outnumbered 4-1. And I know I'm saying 4-1, but there's only 2 of us. That's because we have large armies. A large army is basically 2 small armies. So I have 40 units and my ally has 40 units. That's 80 units in total, which is 4 small armies, while the attacker only has 20 units, which is 1 small army. In the original scenario, it was the same thing, except instead of it being commanded by 2 players, there was 4 players commanding the 80 units, so it was easier for them to micro. For us, we only have 2 players commanding all 80 units, which means that it's going to be more micro, since it's split 2 ways instead of 4 ways. Now, that being said, Danilo is playing the smart. He's starting off by he formed a box here, so if we do, sally out and try to rush him, he's going to be perfectly set up in a square, with his pikes, his spears, his infantry, and he's going to be able to hold us as best as possible. But we're not going to do that. We don't want to sally out. We could do it, but it's also a risk, If we sally out and his Arty gets some good hits on us as we blob up, that's going to cause us a lot of issue. Also, if the pikes and spears are set up and we just run face first into them, that's not going to do any good for us. So we're going to instead have our plan here. We've set up on the sides because, remember, we outnumber him. We have 10,000 men. Okay, this is not 12,000 like the original scenario because my ally is using these small 80-man units, but still, we outnumber him 10,000 men to 3,000 men. And yeah, we're going to have our left flank, we have our right flank, we also have this 1 unit along the back, just in case, we can use it to sneak up and assassinate something or, cause some issues in the back line. But the attack is starting to unfold now. As you can see, the Noble Swaby Swords are going to be Danny's main form of attack. He does have pikes, he does have some spears, but for now they're more defensive and they're going to protect his artillery, his general, and his archers. But he's going to send up the Noble Swaby Swordsmen. These guys are really, really good. If you have a look at the stats, you can see that they've got full gold chevrons, 42 melee attack, 50 melee damage, 67 defense, 64 armor, 149 HP, 70 morale. These guys are going to basically fight to the death, and they're going to do an amazing job while they fight. Now for us, if we have a look at all our stats, you can see that we're affected by the morale and the defense and the attack. So if you look at my Gothic Warband, their morale is sitting at 32, their melee defense is only 15, if we have a look at something else, you could probably find negative stats actually. Like, yeah, there you go. Look at this. So these units have 7 melee attack only. And that's just because of the settlement destruction, which has actually gone up further. It's 94% damage now instead of 75, and that's going to give us minus 17 morale, attack, and defense. He's actually getting pretty close. We're going to hit normal speed, and we're going to show you how we're dealing with this. So what the defenders did in the original video is they did try to defend these outer walls a little bit, but that was it. They had a couple units, and they mainly let me push in, you know, pretty easily, and they didn't make use of opportunities where they could outflank us, especially in areas like this, you know. This is a big three-way street, which means if I'm trying to push up here and here with pikes, you know, I only have 2 units of pikes. They can outflank me left or right. For now though, I am kind of just fighting him head on, but that's okay because this is meant to hold him. This is meant to draw him in and draw him into a fight here, which is where we can start, you know, getting our swordsmen on the barricades, using their throwables, throwing it into the sides of the nobles' baby swords. Because if we fight them head on, these guys are going to cut through our units like a hot knife through butter. And we also have more units over here. Oh, there we go. First clash is actually on this side. So we have some desert tribesmen fighting up against the noble Swaby swordsmen. And first cycle charge starts. Athar's chosen running in. They're going to start doing some damage to these noble Swaby swords. They're down 10 men already. They are at 27 kills, but still, he does not want to be losing men this quickly. Oh, there we go. Attack on this side as well. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Noble Germanic swords are holding for a little bit. They're not going to hold very long though, even though they are in shield wall, because they're just nowhere as good as these noble Swaby swordsmen. However, they're doing what they're meant to, and that is literally just to hold them back and buy us a little bit of time, because I'm trying to use up my throwables. So if we have a look here, the Gothic Warband used all their throwables. They only got 3 kills, but hey, 3 kills is 3 kills, and we can afford to get less kills because again, we outnumbered the attacker. This unit, they're meant to be throwing, but I guess I'm trying to get an angle and they don't want to throw, but you know, that's okay. Over on this side, Athar's chosen are fighting to the death though. Yeah, they're going to get cut down by these noble Swaby swordsmen. But still, they have 62 kills, and that is really, really good. Because we can trade 1-to-1, no problem. We can trade 2-to-1. We can even trade 3-to-1 and still win this, just because of how many numbers we have. Yeah, okay. And actually, these noble Germanic swords are holding pretty well, and that's the main reason I got 2 units of them. I just wanted them to hold the line for a while. Yeah, these guys unfortunately are not throwing. They're meant to be throwing, but they're not throwing. The initial defense from my ally has collapsed. More desert tribesmen going in. These desert tribesmen are mostly just to soak up ammo, as well as hold the line while the Athar's chosen do the damage. Look at this. There we go. Look at them cutting the heads off these noble Swaby swords. If we have a look at these Athars, they're at 21 kills already, which is insane. Remember, the attacker needs to get like a 4-to-1 KD ratio in order to win. Oh, fire ammo coming in. So the reason the general is up here, guys, so if you're wondering why is the general up, you'll see let's actually slow this down, right, while I explain. So the reason the general was up close and personal is not because he was in the fight, but because he was providing bonus morale. So we have rally ability. Oh my god, look at all that fire ammo actually. Okay, there we go, it's missing. So he has the rally ability, which gives +5 morale when he activates it, and units get a morale passive from the general when he's nearby. So if you have a look here, you'll see general nearby gives +8 morale, general alive gives +4 morale. So even though we get -17 morale from the settlement destruction, we're getting +8 from the general being nearby, we're getting another +4 because he's alive, that's +12, and then when we pop rally, that's another +5 on top of that. So in total, we are counteracting that settlement destruction completely because we're getting +17 morale just from the general. And as you can see, I'm doing the same thing here, so I have to be careful, obviously, to make sure my general doesn't get killed in melee or get bought out, but he's going to be just directly behind my front line. I have some Germanic levy holding, I have some noble Germanic swords that are breaking, but these Gothic Warband are going to charge in instead and hopefully throw off their throwables. As you can see, I've popped rally ability now, rally for 30 seconds, +5 morale, and these units will also be getting the extra morale from my general being nearby and from my general being alive. So even though they have 51 base, minus 17 from settlement destruction. They're getting that counteracted thanks to the general being nearby, the general being alive, and the rally ability popping. Let's go back to normal speed. And look at this, beautiful charge. Oh, actually I'm still throwing, and I'm getting kills. I'm not even counter-charging because I'm trying to use my throwables here. And this is good. Look at this. A unit of Gothic Warband of 400 and I think 25 gold units got 30 kills against Noble Swaby Swords. Noble Swaby Swords are 850 gold plus 3 gold chevrons, which is absolutely insane. Oh, more Swaby Swords coming in? God damn, how many units are there? I think this is 5 units of Noble Swaby Swordsmen pushing in. Okay, this is not good. So I need to run my general back really quickly because they actually broke through my units. So my Noble Germanic Swords broke, my spears are breaking as well. And that's even with all the positive morale, but yeah, there we go. So, can I not see the unit that's breaking? No? I mean, they have 11 morale, but they're still gonna waver and break. They will return, but, you know, I need to make sure my general stays behind the front line and doesn't become the front line. Over here, this unit of Gothic Warband is breaking, but hey, they have 38 kills, and again, we have numbers on our side, so that is perfect. This unit is at 6 kills only, hopefully it gets a couple more. We have the Athar's Chosen going in with 40 kills over there. My Germanic Spears have returned, same for this unit. But in the meantime, yeah, we're going to move up these Spearmen along with these Pikemen. So these guys are going to be our front line. They're going to hold the line while the general keeps them nice and buffed up with morale. As you can see, I'm also trying to make use of this barricade. So I put a unit of my Gothic Warband on there, and I'm going to turn on Fire at Will and let them use their throwables on the flanks of these Noble Swaby Swords if possible. Over on this side, my partner, so he's not going for the same thing with the barricade, mostly because the barricade here burned down. So we placed the barricade, unfortunately the buildings nearby were burning and it caused the barricade to burn. So instead what he's doing is he's cycle charging. He's got Desert Tribesmen to hold the line, and even though they won't hold long, they will hold long enough to give him time to cycle charge back and forth with the Athar's Chosen, and I'm also going to send up some Gothic Warband to help there if needed. Over on this side, okay, no movement yet from the army there. If we look over here though, yeah, okay, so my ally has moved up some of his units. They're still hiding behind the wall, we're still staying hidden. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Okay, Spearmen are breaking again, that's alright. The Athars here are doing really good damage. 65 kills there, 130 kills on that unit so far. And if we have a look, there we go. So my Gothic Warband threw all their throwables, and how many kills did they get? They got 31 kills. This is a 425 gold unit with 31 kills. And these are the mistakes that the defenders in the previous scenario made. They did not use their units to their maximum effectiveness, you know. When fighting a battle like this, yes, you outnumber the opponent, but you don't want all your units to die with 0 kills, you know, because you are fighting units that are a lot better than you. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna need to try and trade to with a KD that suits you, aka a KD that is better than what you're losing, to the point where you're losing less than you have units for, so that you can afford to keep losing units, but you're still killing enough of them to have units remaining once they're all dead. That was the worst way I could have said that, but you guys get the point. Also, look at this here. I've got my Gothic Warband throwing their throwables into the sides of these Noble Swaby Swordsmen. Unfortunately, this is shield side, but that's okay. These guys are still going to get some kills. Look at this, 9 kills. And even though these 9 kills also got a bunch of jabbies into the back of my ally, it's fine. Okay, there, 16 kills. 16 kills on an elite sword unit like this is worth a couple friendly fire kills on my allies' units, okay? It doesn't matter because we can afford it. We, once again, have the numbers. Over here, yeah, we are waiting for them to push, but he's not pushing on the barricade side. Instead, he's going to try and push up over here. But we do have our spearmen along with our pikes holding, and they're going to hold for a little while because they also have the general providing them some morale support. Okay, there we go. So Danny is finally moving up his range. So I don't know if I gave you the rules in terms of pikes and stuff, but basically we were allowed 4 pikes each because, well, in the original scenario it's 2 pikes per player, but obviously we only have 2 players instead of 4 players because we each commanding 2 armies technically. So we have 4 pikes each, and we have a total of 2 archers for the entire defending team, and we can split that either way, 1-1, 2 for one person, depending however we want to split that. In this case, we did each take 1 unit of archers. The attack, on the other hand, he got an Arty, but he also got 3 units of archers. So he's got 3 elite Germanic archers. My archer unit is here, but they're hidden, so the attacker does not know that they're there. Over on this side, yeah, so I'm just holding over here still. And in the meantime, we're trying to clear this area up. There's 1 unit of Germanic, of noble Swaby swordsmen. But yeah, they're losing men. They have 80 kills only, and they've lost 40 men. That's not good. He needs to try get like 400 to 500 kills on everything. Ooh, what is this? Oh, okay, no, I thought this was the flanking force. No, the flanking force is still waiting on the side. These are just the units that routed and then returned. But Danny is being careful up behind. He's got his Germanic Spearmasters and his Swaby Oath Takers watching his back, along with his pikes, while his swordsmen go in and try to do all the damage. Oh, look at this. Cycle charging with the cav. This is a good play now. He needs to try... Oh, no. Okay, is he just here for morale? Oh no, he's popping Frenzy? Okay. I'm not sure why... That's not a good... Yeah, that was a bad charge. I'm not sure why he did that. He should have just cycle charged back and forth while the Swaby unit holds. As you can see, that's what I'm trying to do over here. I'm pulling out a unit Gothic Warband, and I'm going to cycle charge it in while the other unit holds. Over on this side, you have no action yet because we're still waiting. What about the... Nope. The ambush force is still waiting as well. That's because we were trying to draw him in further. So we were hoping to get him into about this far, / this far into the settlement. And once he was here, we were going to spring the ambush because at that point, all his units would be inside the settlement. We could come around the back. We could ambush him from there, from here, from here, from here. And, you know, basically hit him from every side. Ooh, look at this. Oh, look at this. I'm using fire ammo on my archers. I'm using my archers to try and burn down his catapults. And look at that, that's 2 catapults burnt already. It means he's only got 2 catapults left. And that's because these catapults can be extremely dangerous. If he uses explosive shot, you know, he lands a hit over there or on my general. If he snipes my general, that could be really bad because remember, I'm using the general to keep the morale up. If my general dies, that's a minus 15 morale penalty. And then remember, these guys no longer get that +8 and that +4 from your general being alive and nearby. Instead, that's replaced with a minus 15, which is not good for me. Oh, cycle charge coming in. Yep, there we go. Nice charge by the cavalry. Already over 50 kills on it. Over 60 kills now, actually. 70 kills. Oh, another Arty has burnt down. Where's my archers? Archers have barely used up any ammo. Firing some more fire ammo. Trying to set this final artillery alight. Oh, did I see? Oh, yep, I saw movement. I knew I saw it. So we are starting to spring the trap. And that's because we realized this battle was going far better than we ever expected. I mean, we set up light defenses to try draw the attacker in, but the light defenses were actually enough to hold. And over here, oh, I moved a unit of Gothic Falconsmen forward, I turned on fire at will, and I was trying to get them to use their throwables, but Danny noticed that and he charged in before I could do that, so good play by him. For now, I'm just going to leave them in the fight over there. And yeah, I'm going to move some more oh my god! That was a good hit by the Arty. Arty with explosive shot just killed a whole bunch of my men. How many kills does it have? 112 kills, so good job by him. Oof, another hit over there. This unit's lost nearly 35 men actually. That's crazy. Oh, there goes the final artillery. So he moved the artillery in too close and got them all burnt down, and he's not firing back with his archers either. I'm not sure if he's trying to fire at me or not, but yeah, he's not firing at me, and that's basically just gonna allow my archers to hit him for free. Now over on this side, we have my Gothic Warband actually pushing forward, along with support from my allies Desert Levy and Athar's Chosen, and we're gonna push up against these noble Swaby swordsmen, as well as the Swaby nobles. And now, this is where the trap is sprung. So as you can see, I'm also moving up my forces, so my infantry is running forward. Where's my cav? Okay, I haven't activated my cav just yet, but I am moving up all my infantry, and my allies Athar's Chosen are all running over. As you can see, we're trying to set them up both sides. He's going to be flanked from both sides. Unit infantry running around from the left, infantry running around from the right. We're pushing up over here, and this is how you defend against a vastly inferior force numbers wise, because they may have the quality, but we have the quantity. And how do you make use of quantity? You make use of quantity by flanking. Flanking and hitting people in the rear, hitting them in the side. That's how you do it. Over on this side, he's actually charged his swordsman into my pike and spear wall. Pikes have 22 kills, not bad. Not bad at all. Germanic Levy are doing their job of just buying time for the pikes to get the kills. My general just staying nearby to keep them nice and topped up on morale. But yeah, this is not looking good for the attacker. If we have a look, he's killed about 2,500 men, but he's lost nearly half his army. And that is just not the KD ratio that he needs. Oh, Noble Swaby Swordsmen are getting cut down over here. It was a depleted unit, but it's going to break to the power of the Himniar. More Athar's Chosen running into... Oh, the archers were getting hit over there. And there's my Gothic Falksman. Oh, Swaby Cavalry coming in, trying to stem the tide. But it's not going to be enough. Just look at this. Look at the amount of troops surrounding the Swaby player. There is units and units of Gothic Falksmen running in, charging the spears head first, because we have the numbers, we have him surrounded, and he's not going to be able to do anything about it. I even have my archers over here on the barricade, just shooting down his skirmishers. And yeah, as you can see, we have him fully surrounded now. He's trying to desperately hold his rear. But yeah, he doesn't have the troops. We've got him absolutely surrounded. Hordes of Gothic Falksmen from my army running in. Got my Germanic Warband also coming into the fight. We have my allies' infantry. Oh, and we've broken through his front line here. Now we're going to hit him from behind as well. Remember guys, there are no bad units in Attila. Every unit has a specific purpose. Every unit is good at something and bad at something. For example, my Gothic Falksmen, they have, if I click over here, they have really nice melee attack and melee damage for a 400 gold unit. Oh wait. There's my Gothic Falksmen. They have 33 melee attack and 56 damage. And they're the cheapest infantry unit the Ostrogoths have to offer. They're only 400 gold. And they also have a nice 60 charge bonus, which means that I'm going to be able to use them to cycle charge in and out, and deal a lot of damage. Even going up against far superior units, they're still going to be able to do some damage. I could have also taken Rome, but then I would be playing a lot more defensively, or I would have to play, take certain units that they have that are better for the attack. But I decided to just go pure cycle, because I am trying to cycle charge all these units down. Oh, rip. This unit of Athar's got charged. They're still picking up some kills. Oh, and his general has died. His army is starting to waver, even with the full gold chevrons. It's probably due to the army losses, casualty sustained. General recently died. All of it is going to stack. And the attacker is going to chain route. 2 units. Nope, those broke. Is there anything left? No, there is not. And that is the end of the replay. So remember guys, the exact same rules, the exact same stuff were followed for this scenario. So if you guys are unsure what they are, just go and have a look at Apollo's video. That was a nice long hour-long siege. And yeah, you can see what they did. You can compare it to how me and Zuga played it. And you can see the difference, between us. So if we have a look at the stats, yeah, my spears didn't really do much, even the ones that fought, they just died. But that's okay, they were there to hold the line. Every unit in my army was brought for a specific purpose. My Gothic Falksmen, they were here to deal damage. My Gothic Warband were here to both deal damage while also taking some hits and absorbing ammo, because, they do have shields. My Noble Germanic Swords, they were just there to hold that initial line, let me get some early skirmishing done. My Germanic Warband, both of them did really good, didn't take too many losses. My Archers actually had 284 kills, the most kills from my army. If you have a look at Zuga's army, he had a bunch of Desert Levy. Most of them didn't actually die in the fight. They were mostly full health. He also has some Desert Tribesmen. These were the guys that were used to slow down the enemy, while his Athar's Chosen, which makes up the bulk of his army, did a lot of the damage. As you can see, 150 kills, 100 kills. 150, 120, 144, 170. And then you also had that Zealot Sicarius unit. He had his archer, which he didn't actually need to use, as well as some camel lances. If we look over at Danilo's army, so his general got 163 kills. His spears didn't really do much, 92 kills being the most. His pikes broke really quickly, so it didn't really do much. His noble Swaby swords, 280 kills, 112, 130, 235, 216, 223, 270, 270, 430 kills being the best. Honestly, what he needed was he needed all these units to get 430 kills, but even then he needed more than that to try and win this. His archers unfortunately just got destroyed. His Arty, 128 kills, so not too bad. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this replay. Danny was kind enough to, come around and play this with us, and, he tried his best, but again, he's a much newer player, so, he doesn't have the same experience. He doesn't have the 4,000 hours that I have, or the time that Suga has in Attila. But yeah, hope you guys have learned something from this replay. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section, because this was done more as this is more of an educational replay than anything else, I'm trying to show you guys the tactics that pros, for example, myself and Zuga, would use when defending a settlement with very cheap troops, but we do have the numbers on our side. So even though we had very cheap troops, all these units are basically 300 or 400 gold, I think it is. These desert levies are 300 each. These desert tribesmen are 270 or something. I think this is the only unit he had that's 600 gold. But even this, it's very weak. It has a very specific use case, and in this case, it wasn't used that way. Same for my army. All the Falksmen are 400 gold. Warband is 425. Germanic swords are 425. Germanic bands 300, 400. Only thing I actually bought the top tier off was the archer. So I went for some cheaper imp, and I made sure I managed to get the best archer possible, because, my skirmishes are very important. So yeah, if you guys have any questions in regards to the tactics or the strategies or anything like that, or any suggestions, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. konnichiwa